Hey guys, Weebhut here with an update to build off my previous Kingdom Hearts theory video on where Nomura is going with the Kingdom Hearts backstory. If you haven't seen that one yet, be sure to check it out before continuing with this video. The entire premise is evidence to strongly suggest that Xehanort is actually a host for the Master of Masters. By the way, thank you to everyone that liked, commented, and enjoyed the video. I never expected it to blow up the way it did, as our channel at the time had less than 30 subscribers. It's been fun reading your comments and figuring out what's really going on together. This is the main reason why I felt that an update was required. After talking with some friends and reading some of the comments, there were even more things that I did not address and did not realize when I created that theory. There are also a lot of questions about other things, such as this comment by James1001. It is a good theory, but why would Luxu open the box when he was told to never ever open it? And this comment by Elfdemon. While I still agree with this theory, I don't think that Xehanort line from Birth by Sleep is out of place. Xehanort is planning to make another Keyblade War, so I'm pretty sure he was just talking about surviving this new Keyblade War. I'll start by addressing some commenters' questions with my thoughts about these points, and then I have two new, honestly mind-blowing pieces of information that I realized a few days after creating the first video, which completely makes it so I cannot see how Xehanort isn't the Master of Masters at this point. So going back to James1001's comment about why would Luxu open the box when he was told to never open it, we also see in this same scene that Luxu asks the Master of Masters about the contents of the box. The Master plays along and whispers what it is into Luxu's ear. Luxu is surprised, then asks why. The Master of Masters then simply says, "You'll see." My original theory, I believe, was definitely incorrect, with Luxu opening the box himself. The best guess is that the box automatically unlocks when certain criteria are met, with the Master of Masters expecting it to happen within Luxu's lifetime. Now, this line of thinking gives additional weight to the theory that others have tossed around about Luxu being Xehanort, as the Master of Masters telling Luxu that he'll see directly goes against his future seeing powers if the box wasn't already opened at the end of the first Keyblade War. That is, unless the Master of Masters knows Luxu ends up traveling from body to body in the future, waiting for the day the box is unlocked. This would make sense, as his Keyblade, No Name, still exists in the present day. The other line that would also make sense if Luxu is Xehanort is his line I showed in the last video from Birth by Sleep about swearing to survive to see what lay beyond the Keyblade War, as in, it was Luxu's promise to the Master of Masters to fulfill his role. This is a great theory, and one that is certainly within the realm of possibility. However, the piece of overlooked information later on in this video that I discovered kind of destroys this theory, unless you guys can help me find any holes in it in the comments below. Alright, so the other comment by Elfdemon and many others about Xehanort's line from Birth by Sleep not being out of place as he's talking about the second Keyblade War he wants to create and not the first one, also makes sense. In fact, I'm sure that's what Nomura meant when he originally wrote it for Birth by Sleep. However, it's one of those lines that he could very easily change what was meant for the sake of developing the plot. It would not be the first time this happened, such as the hooded figure from Kingdom Hearts 1 actually being a time-traveling Xehanort, which absolutely was not planned back then. However, I agree, because that line could easily mean he was talking about the one he wanted to create. This no longer serves as sufficient evidence for the theory that Xehanort actually has the Master of Masters' heart within him. Now, I will finally get to the two new connections that I found that had me thinking how obvious everything is after realizing it. The first one, Riku's Soul Eater. Everyone should remember that Riku's first weapon was the Soul Eater, a blade that manifested due to Xehanort's Heartless possessing him, born of his dark powers. Fans have been wondering for a long time if there was any connection between the eye on the Soul Eater and Master Xehanort's Keyblade, No Name. It makes perfect sense, that after we discovered Master Xehanort's Keyblade had an eye, the logical conclusion is that's the reason Riku's first weapon of darkness had an eye on it, because of Xehanort acting through his body and Riku using his dark powers. However, now that we know the eye on No Name is actually the gazing eye, the conclusion you could draw from this should be completely obvious. Riku's Soul Eater has the eye because the Master of Masters' dark power was possessing him through the man we know as Xehanort. After all, if Nomura will go so far as to show why Mickey had no clothes at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, which would have just been an easy plot point to overlook without anyone really caring, you can bet your ass he's going to address the Soul Eater, along with the other Keyblades in the series that have an eye on them. Remember, every one of the Foreteller's Keyblades has the same exact eye, and many other Keyblades of Darkness in the series have an eye as well. This screams of another design decision by Nomura way back in the early days that he's been building up to expand on ever since Master Xehanort's Keyblade made an appearance. The second discovery is much more simplistic and not as convincing in my opinion, but still very interesting nonetheless. Remember how Organization 13 referred to Xemnas both by his name but also as the Superior? Even Nomura referred to him as the Superior when going through each of their descriptions in 358 over 2 days. Well, what did everyone discover what the Master of Masters' name had to be? I feel like there are far too many connections going on for him to simply ignore. Then again, this could be a case of looking too deep into something. What I am interested in again, like last time, are your thoughts on this once more. What's the reason for the eye on Riku's Soul Eater, along with the eyes on the other Keyblades in the series? Why would the Master of Masters tell Luxu "you'll see" when he asks about the reason for the content of the box if the box doesn't open during their time? And finally, is the whole Organization 13 calling Xemnas the Superior silly? Or do you think it's a weird coincidence that Nomura could very well use as evidence if Xehanort is the Master of Masters? As always, let me know in the comments and let's get another great discussion going. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Weebhut out.